the world loves rallying, now more than ever before. In the centenary year of the motor car and 90 years after the first motor race, rallies are the fastest technology transfer on wheels. Brilliant, fascinating, and a challenge to the mind. The changes in this sport reflect basic trends in modern car design and engineering. New systems, new ideas, and new materials change the appearance and the substance of the cars. And the rally machines explore all these possibilities to the absolute limit, with practically no compromises and certainly no extra ballast. This has restored motorsport to its role as a pioneer of technical advances.
On these motor cars nowadays.
But there are only a few people in the world with the ability to drive the fastest of these machines in the manner intended. The new rally cars from Ford, Peugeot, Lancia, and Austin Rover are without exception pure mid-engine racing machines with only a very superficial resemblance to the corresponding road cars. The Rally Quattro has the same layout as the standard Audi Quattro, although of course its technical potential has been developed to the ultimate. With about 500 brake horsepower available, that means a completely new dimension of performance, traction and handling.
Mich reizt es, so ein Auto zu fahren, und es ist ja mehr oder weniger, liegt es ja an mir.
I get a lot out of driving a car like this, and it's more or less up to me to respect what it can do in the way of speed. There are times when I just have to go a bit easy. But I'm sure all the high technology from the factory is a good thing, because this is the only way we can make real progress for future road cars in things like economy, stability and safe handling. It's terribly difficult to tell anyone what it's like driving a car like this. It's maybe the same as somebody who has never touched a drop of alcohol. And everybody keeps telling him what a great feeling it is when you've had a couple of drinks. You feel so good. But he'll never understand it. He can't understand why the others behave like that after a couple of drinks, since he's never experienced it himself. He thinks they're only acting foolish in that condition. And that's what it's like trying to explain it to someone. If I try and explain what a fantastic feeling it is accelerating with this car, then most people would probably think, you know, he must be a bit peculiar. So it's very difficult. That's what I wanted to say at first, so you can get something of an idea. The main thing, of course, the really big impression, is this feeling of acceleration. When you change up into second, third, and fourth, for instance, that's 3 gear changes in no more than about 2 seconds. You've simply got to have a feel for it. There's no time to look at the rev counter and see when it gets to 8,000. The needle just goes round with a bang and hits 8,600. On our car, say you're doing about 4,000 or 4,500 revs with the throttle down, or let's say 5 millimeters. You're coming out of a corner and open the throttle wide at 80. Then you just go straight up to 110 in a fraction of a second. So it's like an explosion. Maybe, let's say, like a rocket taking off. That's how you could imagine it. It's really nothing like ordinary acceleration. That's what I'm trying to say. Everything happens so quickly, clutch, gear chain, accelerate, that you haven't time to think. It's fantastic, and then at those kind of speeds, if you're flat out in top. Let me think. To give you an idea, if I accelerate from 180 up to 200 in 6th gear, when I open the throttle, it's the same kind of acceleration that you get at 30 in 1st gear in your road car when you accelerate up to 40. That's what the power is like, and that may give a bit of a comparison. I sometimes think the whole thing is really like riding a fireball. It's quite a feeling. Sometime they're going to say, maybe in 20 years, If things go on like this, cars will all be on rails, one behind the other. Then you'll be glad you had this fantastic experience, because it was a crazy time. But like many things in life, the crazier it is, the more enjoyable.
Etwas Verrücktes, aber wie halt alles im Leben, je verrückter, umso toller ist es, gell?
When the moon was full and the people were jamming everywhere, I feel with fun from head to toe. Even the chicks were out looking to score. What can you do in such an atmosphere? Stretch your legs, move and shake your beer to the right of spin on the DJ's box. So do a good sounds, make your body rock. So you feel the juice, gotta get loose and shake your body. Feel the goose, so you feel the goose. Gotta get loose and move your body. Feel the juice and you dance and you jam. If I say stop, then stop, don't stop. Look here, look there, pop, people they pop everywhere. I said, look here, look there, pop, people they pop everywhere. As the party grew into the early light, rock, the people were just getting right. They all danced with the joy of being alive, in spite of so much deceiving jive that bringing this world to its end with sturdy players, talking friends. So feel the groove, it makes you free. Come along, this one's on me. So you feel the groove, gotta get loose and move your body. Feel the juice, said you feel the goose. Gotta get loose and move your body and feel the juice and dance and you jam. If I say stop, then stop, don't stop. Come on. Then you dance and you jam. If I say stop, then stop. Come on, oh, come on, oh, come on. Look here, look there, pop, they pop everywhere. I said, look here, look there, pop, they pop everywhere.
Rallying is a sport dear to the hearts of millions, and this is no mere casual affair. The fans are in it with heart and soul. They come not for a brief look, but for a lengthy, carefully planned family party. And the focus of attention in this family are not arrogant play actors that let nobody near them, but a nice sort of people. Real heroes to see and touch.
I like ice because it's mud and
We
water.
market ice.
20
The big rallies attract up to 3 million people, and that means a real crush. Interest in rallying is still growing, which perhaps has something to do with the pure spectacle of the teams coming to grips with the most sophisticated technology out in open country. When you've laid all your plans in advance and driven down to the rally, when you've found somewhere to put your car, carried your gear for miles and found the one ideal place out of a few thousand possibilities, when you've taken time to breathe in the atmosphere, when you've something to build up your strength and keep you warm and happy, then and only then will you be ready to appreciate the gala performance of motorsports. rally goes on forever. You can really get involved and let yourself be carried along with the action for days and nights on end. The spectators take an active part in the whole circus. Every one of them is part of the action. Here, for instance, at Torigny, which is hallowed ground in the rallying world. Everyone is involved. Everyone plays a part. Driving a car in the ordinary way is a question of coordinating man and machine with road, time, direction, and distance. But watching the way these lads drive makes you wonder. What? How? When? Where to? Excuse me for asking, but what goes on in their minds? How can one understand it? We asked somebody who ought to know, somebody who has given it some thought. Walter Rohrl is the expert.
Im Prinzip bist du bei dem Auto mit dem Denken schon zu
Basically, with these cars, if you start thinking, you're too slow. What you need is a kind of sixth sense. You have to be one step ahead the whole time. With this car, if you wait till something happens, then it's too late. You have to anticipate.
Also es muss intuitiv alles vorausgehen.
And all this talk you used to hear about driving by the seat of your pants, if that's how you feel what the car is doing, then it's probably the last time you'll ever feel anything, because if you wait that long, you'll go off the road. In other words, you have to know what's happening in advance. You have to react before you even feel it. To compare it with skiing, what the ordinary skier enjoys most is a nice, smooth slope, all beautifully prepared so he can go down in long, sweeping turns. That's what rallying was like perhaps 10 years ago. And these days, if you talk to a top skier, what he's looking for is a steep, icy slope, a 45-degree hill with a slalom course, and then to go straight down it. That's what skiing's all about. Rallying 10 years ago was like the long, smooth turns. It was nice in a way. But things are quite different today. These days, there's a lot more happening, and you have to fight harder, but it's just as good. In fact, I actually get more out of it. And when it's all over and I look back, I sometimes think I must be mad to do something so dangerous and say I enjoy it. But when I'm actually driving, there's really nothing like it.
Aber im Moment des Tuns ist es wahnsinnig toll.
Power, smoothness, and rhythm. Pure speed. Sit back and enjoy Walter Rohrl's balancing act, driving at the limit of physics.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, aja!
was the special stage of Lagoa Azul in Portugal, and Walter Rohrl driving the Audi Sport Quattro. And to let us see what it's really like, down to the last detail, he naturally had to drive the fastest time on the stage, camera and all. If you ask which modern rally on the whole has the best atmosphere and makes the greatest demands of drivers, most people in the rallying circus will give you the same answer: San Remo. Join us and you'll get the feeling. Those were some of the most attractive highlights of 1985. Technical progress is as fast as ever. The game continues, and Audi is there.
E poi il giorno sulla mia casa, il giorno senza una scusa, il giorno su per le scale, il giorno che fa più male, il giorno sulla tua porta, il giorno che mi riporta qui, e poi la sera ti asciuga il viso, la sera ti dà un sorriso, la sera sopra il tuo letto, la sera